And joining us now, fresh off their win over Purdue on 6-0, where she had two more hits and continues her incredible play this year as the starting shortstop. Of course, was an All Big Ten performer a year ago and helping Nebraska out to a 26-8 record, 6-1 in the Big Ten. Ava Kuszak joining us here on In the Circle D1 Softball. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's start with that Purdue game. You all batted around in that sixth inning to break the game open. You contributed to that. Just take me through what was it like to bat around in that inning.
I think the biggest thing was we were just trying to pass the bat and just keep it going. We were having strong at bats and we just needed to keep building off of them one after one. So we were just trying to focus on passing the bat and have the next person keep doing their job. Um, Once we started getting hot, I think it just kind of batting, like hitting is so contagious. And I love this team. Like it's so awesome to have every single person in the lineup and every single person that's dug out be able to make a huge hit and make a huge impact on the game. So it's really fun to just see it all play out.
I'm looking at your numbers as we talk. 425 now you're hitting. 13 homers, 37 RBIs. You're in the top 20 in numerous offensive categories nationally. We're not going to get into that because you got another game to broadcast to play
Yeah.
and all that. But just what's been working for you this year? How do you feel you obviously feel comfortable at the plate, but what's it been like for you this year with hitting near the top of the order in this offense?
I think it's just been continuing to grow. Obviously, learning from my new coaches this year. Just trying to take as much information as I can in and try and just take that into the games and just be competitive and play. Right now, it's just focusing on barreling stuff hard and just trying to be a hard out every single at bat. And I think that shift in my mentality, just being competitive and just finding a way on, has been really working for me. And also just trying to hit the ball as hard as I can.
I know talking to Coach Ravel, one of the keys was defense this year. And I know in Clearwater you didn't play as well early, but you've gotten better as the years went on. Talk about the defense and you being part of that piece of the puzzle for this defense or working behind that good pitching staff you have.
Well, we preach defense wins games. We take our defense to heart. Every single practice or every single day at practice, we are just working on defense and just trying to make sure we are having our pitchers' backs. We know our bats will have their backs, but also especially in close games, like defense wins games. So honestly, I think it's been really fun just kind of finding our groove and building that trust and just continuing to build that trust along the people next to us. And I think we're getting on a good roll now.
Describe this offense because top to bottom, everybody could do damage. Just how would you describe this offense for those that maybe haven't seen you play?
Scary. Like I think we just want us to be like chokehold, like offense wise. Like we just want to, everyone 1 through 9, we just want to just bury them. I think that's the coolest part about this team is every single person in the dugout has the ability to do big things in the lineup. And I think it makes it really hard to pitch to us because you got to worry about who's behind Jordy in the lineup and then who is after Olivia DiNardo after the line next, because every single person in that lineup is doing big things. And I think it makes it hard to pitch to us because you have to worry about the next person in the lineup. So I think we're just a very scary offense and we're very talented and we're just very competitive.
You mentioned Jordy Bahl. I think everybody knew going into the year what she would bring to the table in the circle, but I'm not sure people really saw this offense of the bat that she brought. And Coach Ravel told me she's going to be a two-way player. She's going to be a middle of the lineup. Can hit, all that. But what's it been like seeing her as a hitter? Did you see this coming at all early in the fall? Like, what's it been like seeing her from an offensive standpoint? Everybody knows about the pitching, but the offense, I think, maybe has caught some people are like, whoa, that did not see that coming.
Yeah, I played club with her growing up. So my junior year, it was her senior year, and I played with her, and she hit in our offense. And like I realized it just shows how competitive of a person she is because she is dangerous on both sides of the ball. You don't want to be hitting against her, and you don't want to be pitching to her. Like she is a very determined and contagious person to be around. And she's one of the most hardworking people. And I just know she wants to get the job done for every single of the people around her. But I've seen her hit bombs. I've seen her be a battle in the box. But it's been awesome just to see her continuing to just be an amazing player on both sides because I know that's what she can do. And she's just showing her competitiveness.
Like reuniting with her And you played club ball with her. She was injured last year. The hoopla coming back home state and everything. What's it been like being back around her?
It's been awesome. We always say that it just feels kind of like a dream. In club, we were like, imagine if you were ever went to the like if we went to the same college, and now like everything happens for a reason, and somehow it worked out the way it did. But it's just been awesome just to be in the same team as her, and just being able to continue to grow and learn from her too, because she has a lot of information and knowledge about the game, and it's just been awesome.
You mentioned DiNardo. Speak of her, because I think she's under the radar offensively. And then some of the other players you feel like are under the radar offensively that people maybe don't talk about. You've gotten a lot of attention, rightfully so. Jordy gets attention, but there's other hitters that have
Mhm.
certainly contributed. So talk about some of the hitters under the radar here that have really helped you and help
Mhm.
you in your success.
Olivia DiNardo, she is an absolute dog. She wants to get it done just as bad as every single one of us. She just battles and she's a competitive person. Casey Hoffman, she's insane. I like watching her swing. She is such a beautiful swing and also just a beautiful mind of the game too. It's been awesome to learn from her and also see her do amazing things because I feel like she's really getting hot right now and she's been doing good. The twins also, those girls are always hot. They always find a way on base and always find huge hits and big moments too. Like they are competitive people. Like our entire lineup's so competitive. Abby Squire, Squirrel, she's got big numbers. She's comes up in big moments. Ava Breadwell, all like honestly, I could go 1 through 9.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. There, they are very talented. And you mentioned the twins there with obviously Hannah there, and then certainly talk about their contributions there. We had Hannah there pitch a great game on the Sunday night of the victory there to pick up the victory there. What have they contributed to the combo there? That is a pretty interesting combo there with Lauren and of course Hannah.
It's been awesome. Lauren, me and her, I think we have a pretty fun dynamic up the middle, and it's been really fun just to be playing next to her. And Hannah also is just a very competitive person and fiery person, and seeing her on the mound and just doing big things, like she's also someone that you don't want to face because her changeup is disgusting. Like there's no way, there's some people that just cannot hit it, and she's always finds a way to get out. Like she is a person that will go to rock bottom and just keep fighting for you, and you can just see it on the mound.
Let's talk about you and your journey. What got you first growing up? Got you interested in playing softball?
It was definitely when I started playing t-ball, and then I was big on soccer kind of growing up a little bit, and then I started playing club when I was around 10. Um, I was kind of playing a little bit like lower, but I started playing competitive around 10. I just kind of wanted to play every sport growing up. That was just kind of how I was, and I found a amazing sport and love for the game. And it's just an amazing game. I love playing it.
Did you have favorite athletes growing up?
Um, I love Jenny Finch. My mom always got me her books to read. She was always one big one. But yeah.
Have you met her?
No.
Oh, you got to do that. You're not. A lot of players I've had on this show love Jenny Finch.
Yes.
It's fascinating to me. And
I
some of them
think
have
that's
met
like
him,
a
and some
big
of them
one
not.
of like when we were younger, like that was always the person that she was just growing the game of
Yeah.
softball, and all of her but like my mom loved getting me her books and I just loved learning from her. So I think that's kind of one of the biggest ones that stood out to me when I was little.
Obviously, like I said, you were having success. You were all Big Ten performer a year ago. Once you decided to move on from Wisconsin, what was it about Nebraska that you felt was the right place for you?
I think the biggest thing for me was I wanted to find just the right fit for my heart and where I felt at home. And when I went on my visit, it was obviously it was close to home, and I have a lot of family in Omaha too. So it just felt when I went on that visit and I got to see and hang out with Jordy and my friends again a little bit too. And talk with the coaches and have really good conversations with them and kind of just ask them questions about what I wanted out of a program. And it really felt right when I was there.
What's it like playing for Coach Ravel?
It's awesome. She is an amazing person through and through, like on and off the field. She's really fun because she pushes me in different ways every single day, and I love when she gets on me because I know how she shows her love because she knows you can be better. So I think that's one of the coolest things about her, and she also just cares about you as a person off the field too. So that's been a really cool thing.
How do you feel you're a different player today than you were, say, maybe a year ago at this time? Are you a different player? And it's, in what ways are you different?
I wouldn't say I'm a different player. I think I have just grown my knowledge of the game, and I think definitely going into my junior year, just continuing to build off of what I've learned every single year, and then just take in new information from the players around me on this team and the new coaches too. It's been really cool to get new information and just continue to learn about this game because you can always be better in this game. That's the coolest part about this game is you can't be perfect 100% of the time, but how can you get a little bit better every single time? So that's been the coolest part. And just challenging myself, honestly, to see where I can go and just keep pushing myself.
What have you learned about your teammates? It's one thing to get to know them in the fall and all that, but then you get into games, you have ups and downs as there always is in a season. What have you learned about this group?
I think our team is just very resilient, even through the ups and downs, and we will always be there for one another 100% of the time. And it's really cool because we hang out on and off the field 24/7, and I think that makes us really strong as a team because we just build trust with one another. And when you step on the field, you're surrounded by your best friends and just get to have fun with the game that you love, and battle for one another because you love the person next to you, and you're going to want to do every single thing that you can for the person next to you.
It's a unique year in the Big Ten. You got new members. You got UCLA. You got Oregon. You got Washington. So you're like this series. This is a Saturday, Sunday, Monday series as we talk on this. What's it been like? You've played in the league, but what's it like? Does it feel different? Have you players talk about that, about the differences this year in the Big Ten?
We've been talking about just how like the Big Ten, there's been so many different, like, I feel like every single team, every weekend, there's a new team winning and having big games. And I think that's the coolest thing about the Big Ten is we're just a gritty conference. And especially with UCLA and Oregon joining and Washington joining our conference, it just builds that grittiness even more. And I think we've had really fun and cool games to watch. And I just think the Big Ten's a really strong conference right now, and it's been really cool to watch.
I've talked to some players about one of the things they're looking forward to is they get to travel to new places maybe they haven't been to before. Do you have one in mind, either this year or like that'd be kind of cool to go there for the first time?
We're going to Washington this year, which will be really fun. I'm excited to go to that one. I don't think I've ever been to Washington or their campus, so that one's just going to be really cool. And I also want to go. I'm excited to go to. I hopefully we can go to Oregon because their field is amazing. It's gorgeous, so that would be a really cool experience to play on that field. But since they're new, I feel like that would be really fun to kind of travel and go on the West Coast a little bit.
That's a good choices. Yes, Jane Sanders very good, and
Yeah.
Seattle, Washington. No, and that's the uniqueness with the travel and everything there. What's it like playing in Big Red with that support from Nebraska fans that they always have,
Mhm.
supporting all their sports, but especially with softball?
It is amazing. We have the absolute best fan base, and they show up whether it's 70 degrees and sunny or whether it was like it was tonight when it was a little bit cold and windy. They showed out and they just give us all of their heart and love for us and for the game. And I think it's really cool just to continue to build the game. And they really play a huge part in that because they're showing up and cheering for us and coming to all of our games. And we have people coming to visit or coming from other states to come watch us play too, which is so amazing to see just to continue to build this game and also just bring like how cool Nebraska softball is. And I think it's really fun to be a part of.
You've played both at Wisconsin and Nebraska, which are both big time volleyball schools too.
Hmm.
So I'm curious, have you been to volleyball matches at both venues?
Yes, I have.
Oh, see, that's like a check mark. Not many could say that.
Yes.
What's
Oh,
it like?
it's very cool. Both like the field house and then also like the Bob. The atmosphere in there is insane. Like it is awesome. And I think I also went to the Wisconsin versus Nebraska game here. So that was even really cool because it was just fun to see and it was really fun. They have just the amazing atmospheres and it's awesome just to see the love of the game there and also just the fan base of Nebraska just showing out for the love of the game.
They had the volleyball match there, obviously played at the football stadium. Have you ever, is that something that you would wonder, like, wow, I wonder what that would look like in a softball stadium. This year,
Yes.
Stanford's playing at a football stadium
I
this year.
know,
Oh, yes.
true. I know. I think about that. It'd be really cool to do that. That would be awesome. And I know the Nebraska fans would pack that thing too. It'd be awesome.
What's your goals post softball?
Post softball, I'm an animal science major. So I pre-vet. I also kind of I'm interested in animal nutrition as well. So kind of just figuring out what I would want to do with that. Possibly vet school, but I also hopefully want to continue playing softball too. Because I love the game. And if it doesn't work out, I obviously have I have softball is just a part of my life and I'm very grateful for it. But I'm also excited for vet school and and working with animals.
What got you interested in that?
I ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be a vet. And I currently have 5 dogs at home. It's a crazy household. And we also have 17 chickens. But so I've always been like around animals and it's been really cool actually like just working. Came into college thinking small animal and then I got to work with like some sheep and horses and cows. And so I'm kind of mixed between small and large animals. So, but it's really fun.
I think you just buried the lead. Hold on. So you got 5 dogs? Did
Yes,
you just say
5 dogs.
17 chickens?
Yes.
What else you got? That's
Nothing.
it.
My dad wouldn't let me get a goat. We almost got a horse, but if we were close, I kept trying to convince him for a goat, like little baby goats,
Okay.
mini goats.
So 2 things here. I'm gonna have to like introduce you to like my broadcast partner Alex Powers, who loves dogs, has like 3, 4 dogs. So we do a segment on our broadcast. I do UCF games. It's called Pooch Pics, where we send out photos of their dogs. So I want you or your family member, somebody, to send photos to us when we're on the air the next time because I want to see this first of
Yes.
all. But
Yay.
okay,
Okay.
so that's a deal you and I will strike. But number
Okay.
two, how do you take care of 17 chickens and 5? That's a lot. Like I want to know, and you're in school. So give me the breakdown on how all this is working.
I know my parents, I think that's what my brother just went to college too, and he's 2 hours north at a JUCO playing baseball. But so I think this is how they're dealing with us being gone is they have to deal with a whole bunch of chickens and dogs. But so we have a rat terrier who's 15 years old, and then Benny, and then we have 2 German short hairs, and then they had puppies. And so then I convinced my dad to keep one of them because it's mine. So then we obviously kept one. And then we got one from a family back because they were busy. It was too much for them with jobs. But so now we have 5.
Who's taking care of them when you're playing? And let's say your parents, coming to the games.
My parents, so usually my dad will have 2 or 3 with him and he stands outside literally with them on leashes. Because next to our like locker room there's a little grass patch, so they're always kind of up there. Or like with the away games, my mom will stay home or my dad will stay home and then one of them will travel to visit us. Or they'll find like dog kennels and try and figure out somewhere they can go.
Oh wow, that is amazing. So you really owe your
I
parents.
have to give it all to my parents because they are amazing at figuring out and still supporting me every single day and just showing up and especially with 5 dogs, which I know is very tough. So I'm very grateful for them.
Well, props to all of you and your family. That's a wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I definitely will have photo. I'm gonna have to send your SID like our let them know when we're on the air because I want to see photos of this.
Oh yeah.
I might even wait on this. That's incredible. And I'll have to get you back on the pod and go more in depth on this because there's so many more
Yeah.
questions I could ask, but you got stuff to do, and one of them is obviously playing the wrap up this series, and then you go to Iowa, and then the rest of the season. So my last question to you is with your team, what are some of the keys here moving forward to get to your goals? Obviously, Big Ten championships and all that's ahead of you. What are some of the keys from your team moving forward to that you got to do to accomplish that?
I think we're just trying to build off every single game and try and get better. I think the biggest thing is that we're trying to focus on is just being gritty every single time we show up and just not worry about the scoreboard, but just go out there and play and let our play with our hearts and just play all out and mentally be in it. And the scoreboard will even itself out when we do that and we can lock in and let ourselves and trust our abilities because we know we can do it. So I think the biggest thing is just focusing on our mentality because let our talent, let our athleticism take over and just mentally be competitive and gritty and not want to lose and just keep fighting and it'll all work out.
For people that are going to watch you, this will be my last question. When people are going to go watch you play,
Mhm.
what do they want What do you want them to say about you? How would you describe yourself as a player?
I think one thing that I would definitely is I hope they can see my love for the game through how I play. I feel like I just love this game and I want it to continue to grow and I love being on this field. It's just an amazing sport and I hope that they can see my love for the game through everything that I do and my love for my teammates and my love for my coaches and that love for softball.
Well, that's incredible. And you do that. You share your passion for softball, your passion for animals. It's amazing story. Thank you for sharing all that. And thank you for coming on short notice. Like I said, keep up the great play. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll definitely get you back on down the road and get more into
Yes,
the update
definitely.
family there. But hey, thanks for coming on here on In the Circle on D1 Softball.
Thank you so much for having me. I had fun.